Good evening and welcome to America's Freedom Media. I'm your host, The Angry American. I've taken a few days off that I wanted to get back to making video. Tonight I have a video that I'm making for you guys. It's an update on the Hurricane Irma. And Hurricane Irma has already caused at least 3 deaths in the Caribbean, and Florida, Georgia, and South Carolina are bracing for the storm. And the story I have is attributed to ABC News. It's like Hurricane Irma lashed the Caribbean today, causing at least 3 deaths, while in the U.S., Florida, Georgia, and South Carolina are facing states of emergency as residents brace for the monster storm. The storm, called extremely dangerous by the National Hurricane Center, currently has sustained winds of 185 miles per hour and even higher gusts. The storm's impact on the Caribbean islands: on Wednesday afternoon, Irma was battering the Caribbean, destroying about 90% of the structures and vehicles on Barbuda, officials said. In St. Martin and St. Bartholomew, at least 2 people have died and at least 2 others were seriously wounded, according to a spokesman for France's ministry for its overseas territories. At least 1 person in Barbuda, where there is widespread damage, said Midsi Francis, a spokeswoman for Antigua and Barbuda's National Office of Disaster Services. Gaston Brown, Prime Minister of Antigua and Barbuda, described the damage on Barbuda as unprecedented and called the island barely inhabitable. Irma, which is approximately 450 miles wide, has sustained winds of 180 miles per hour for a longer period of time than any other Atlantic storm on record. As of 8 p.m. Eastern Time, Irma was about 50 miles east of San Juan, Puerto Rico, moving west at 16 miles per hour. The hurricane is forecast to move north of the U.S. territory this evening, unleashing strong winds and heavy rain. Persistent heavy rain from Irma is expected to continue for hours, and flash flood warnings have been issued across northeastern Puerto Rico, including San Juan. Flash flooding has occurred in Puerto Rico as of 8 p.m. I've got some video here from the Weather Channel on how Florida is preparing for this hurricane to hit. I'd like you to watch that, and I'll be back with you to talk with you some more.
Arrival would be late Friday night or early Saturday morning in southern Florida, and then you have a little bit more time on Saturday as you go farther north than that. Here are some very important evacuation decisions that have been made for the state of Florida. Mandatory evacuations in the Florida Keys for visitors and residents. Miami-Dade County, within the last couple of hours, has issued mandatory evacuations for zones A and B. In Broward County, starting noon tomorrow, mandatory evacuations for mobile homes and for the barrier islands and coastal areas east of Federal Highway. That starts at noon tomorrow. Palm Beach and Collier counties, stay tuned. Over to you, Mark.
Thank you, Dr. Nab. Of course, Irma now a deadly hurricane already. At least 3 people have died, 2 others seriously hurt as Irma roared over St. Martin, St. Bart's, and Barbuda. In Miami, Mercer Hospital is evacuating more than 200 patients, and they've closed the emergency room to new patients at this point. Plus, states of emergency are now declared in 4 states, covering all of Florida, parts of North and South Carolina, and coastal counties in Georgia as well. Meanwhile, people are trying to help you get out of Florida if you need to. Some of the airlines, JetBlue, American, and Delta, have capped their prices, and I've heard they might be running a couple extra flights as well, in case you're trying to book a flight at this point. Now, we are in Florida as the state pushes to prepare ahead of Irma. Our own Paul Goodlow is in Marco Island.
Yeah, voluntary evacuations ordered there. And Paul, are people heeding those evacuations as we speak at this moment?
They certainly have. Again, this is a far quieter night than typically you'd find here in September, even though the kids are back in school. But because of Irma, a lot of people have left. And in fact, in mentioning schools here in Collier County and Lee County, school has been canceled for Thursday and Friday, so people can prepare and evacuate if they need to without worrying about extra cars and buses on the roadways with school called out as well. So when I flew in today, you mentioned the airports there. Of course, there was a lot of people actually trying to get in and out of Fort Myers, and some people I talked to in the airplane, they were coming in here to check on loved ones, to pack them up and even take them out of Florida with them just to get them out of harm's way. But people who are staying, they are doing everything that you would do. They're stocking up at the grocery stores. They're stocking up on gas, long lines at a lot of gas stations, and there's also lines at the home improvement stores trying to get the last minute supplies as well. And people all over here are hoping that that forecast, which has been kind of moving in and out of West Florida the last, say, 48 hours, will continue to push eastward. They're not wishing harm on their fellow Floridians down in southern Florida, but they're just hoping that they get spared the brunt of the eye of Hurricane Irma, which could definitely threaten this entire region. And if you've never been here before, outside of being here for a hurricane, it is a gorgeous place on earth, a great beach for shelling. If you like to pick up seashells, there's tons of them out here. We'll have more on covering Irma coming up after this.
Sorry, my voice is cracking so much. We've got a lot of wildfires in my area of California going on out here, and the smoke has been really giving me the blues. I've lived in the Gulf Coast, and I know how hurricanes are, and they can be very devastating. And this one looks worse than any one I've ever seen. My advice is for everyone to please, if you are in Florida or on the East Coast, on any coastal area, please head inland as deep as you can get, and please secure your property. You know, do your best to get out of there, because this is not one you really want to try to stay and hunker down and ride out. Well, guys, I'm going to leave this video here for tonight. Please, whatever you do, prepare, prepare, prepare. And if you can, please, for God's sake, get out of there. Get inland, stay somewhere, and just know that we're praying for you guys from out here in California. We love you guys. Thank you for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe. And don't forget to click the notification bell. And again, we are praying for you guys with Hurricane Irma. God bless.